Hi everybody, welcome to Gender Talk number 3. This is a talk for the students in gender class at Panyasastra University of Cambodia in Phnom Penh. This is already the talk number 3, and I will talk again about how to prepare a good presentation. But this talk is about gender analysis. Gender analysis with focus on gender statistics. How you are analyzing gender issues in the assigned sector by using some gender statistics. Your presentation must have gender analysis. So what does it mean? This class that you are learning with Kasumi is gender studies, and this is not about environmental science, or this is not about public transport class, but this is gender studies class. That means whenever you do your homework, whenever you do your assignment, whenever you prepare your presentations, you have to have gender views. And in your presentations, basically you are assigned to do the gender analysis. Then how do you do the gender analysis? First of all, under each slide, that you may have 5 slides or 6 slides, you must divide issues of women and men separately. This is the very first step for gender analysis. You cannot talk about what is education. It is not about gender analysis. You need to look into education sector by dividing boys and girls and compare the similarities and differences. So for example, education is very easy to do, but a bit more difficult sector, let's say transport sector. How can you do the gender analysis? If you are living in Phnom Penh, you see a huge traffic jams in recent weeks because of the constructions of the new bridge and constructions of the new irrigation system, etc. So Phnom Penh has a huge traffic jam. Then what is the implication of this traffic jam in Phnom Penh to women and men? And there are different implications. But let's make it much easier. So if you do the gender analysis in transport sector, the very easy entry point is you look into how women use transport and how men use transport. There are different patterns of how women use transportations and how men use transportations in any societies. And this is the same with the difference between how women in urban areas and how women in rural areas are using transport. There are clear-cut differences between those two groups of women are using the transport. So let's say, for example, if a family consisting of many members in one family has only one car, who is using this car? This is one of the steps that you can analyze the difference in terms of access of transport or machines or transport mechanisms by men and women. So looking into the difference between men and women is always needed in every analysis. You cannot talk about general thing in gender analysis. Secondly, you need to collect data. Data is a numbers or percentage, but What I'm talking about here is data which is gender specific, meaning data of men or data of women to compare difference between women and men. If you are paying attention to the International Women's Celebration news, there were so many news about gender pay gap around the globe. Gender pay gap, the difference of the average salary that women earn and the average salary that men earn. There is a gender gap all over the world. In Cambodia, there is a gender pay gap, and women earn much less than what men are earning in average. In the United States, for example, if compared between single women and single men in terms of their salary, single women earn only 92% of what single men are earning in the United States. This data is from 2022, and this data is worse than 5 years ago when American single women earned 95% of that of men. So 5 years ago, pay gap was only 5% in America between single women and single men, but now it's widened to 8%, that women earn less than men if you are single. And this is gender pay gap, and such a data of percentage is backing up the gender difference. So in your presentation, you must find some data. You have to collect the data such as this 92%, 95% that is available, that everybody can have access if you are planning to present about gender pay gap. It's an economic empowerment of women, which is not in our topic for any presentation this term. But every team must show the data that has a gender difference. Again, you cannot present generally what is the transport is, what is agriculture is, what is the production of rice in Cambodia. No, that's not gender analysis. You have to analyze how women engage in the sector that you are researching about and how it's different from the men's engagement. What are the impacts that attack women's lives and men's lives, and what are the differences? So when you present the data, which you have to do, you must also show the year of the data. Is the data coming from 2022 or 2021 or 2020? Because it makes a big difference. Never cite data from 2010 unless you may want to compare the data between 2010 and 2020. Otherwise, 2010, that's 13 years ago, and this is not relevant. It's too old to use to explain about the situation as of 2023. So in conclusion, in preparing your slides, make sure that you start finding gender data, that you show the difference between men and women backed up with the data collected by your government, Cambodian government, or the international organization, but not small NGOs because it's not reliable. Use the data from the government and insert those data percentage or numbers with the year that the data was collected into your slides. Without those data, your presentation is not academic, and your presentation may not be evaluated highly because you show that you didn't do a good research. Good luck, everybody.